sea without a north, you are the first and foremost vessel in misfortune. You are the one who crosses and returns from death. On its first day, the sun lay dying serenely on the ocean's bed, and its spirit returned with the pale, glimmering face of the moon. O moon, O shadowy light, true wonder, you are the spectre of death over the entire world. In this small corner of the world where I live, there are but a few stars I'm able to see. The city's light pollution drowns out these delicate lights. What remains is the moon in its pale nudity. Some days it appears amber-colored, and other times blood red. As for the stars, we'll talk about them another time. Today we speak about that rare and radiant maiden. As a native speaker of Portuguese, a Romance language, the moon is a feminine noun and is often associated with divine and anthropomorphic representations such as Selene, the Greek goddess, and Luna, the Roman goddess. Around the world, there are those who personify the moon with masculine traits. For example, Consul, an Egyptian god with a youthful appearance, often depicted with the head of a falcon. His name means traveler, and he is associated with healing and protection. Then there's Mane in Norse mythology, Chandra in Hindu mythology, and the list could go on. But in this intimate sharing with you, I will lean on the versions that have most influenced me. Selene and Luna are both complementary to the sun, nocturnal beacons navigating through the dark hours. Their names call for light. Selene, or the older Selene, is related to the Greek word selas, meaning light, brightness, luminous flame. Luna, her Roman counterpart, derives her name from lux, light, which comes from an older Proto-Indo-European root, leuk, conveying the idea of luminosity, radiance. Speaking of ancient connections, the Greeks also called the moon Mene or Mene, which originates from a very ancient root found in words like measure, and more specifically month. All this referring to the moon's phases and its universal observation as a means of measuring time. Although it exists as a unit of measure, what prevails in its names is the attribute of luminescence. In the abyssal darkness of the night, how can we not first appreciate the glow of this companion sphere, our soul's twin? Many poets and painters attribute numerous cold qualities to the moon, opposed to the daytime sun. She can be frigid and distant, the unattainable object of desire for the one who longs to decipher her, but who never resolves her ultimate mystery. Some Portuguese poets see her as analogous to the Virgin Mary in her submissive and feminine silence, chaste and immaculate, a celestial queen, shining in a sky of sorrow, offering comfort and solace to the devout. Her dark side is equally inspiring. Her negative face takes shape as a witness to crimes committed under the cover of night, a spectator of witchcraft and spells, of lustful sins, and the excesses of alcohol that leaves us licentious when faced with temptations repressed under the all-seeing sun. This lunar ambivalence is never resolved. The tension of her light and shadow keeps us in perpetual state of attraction and estrangement. I was shaped by these visions and concepts, but over the years, as my thoughts and feelings matured, the moon gained new nuances in my personal mythology. To me, the moon is a ghost. I look at it and see a pale shroud wandering through the depths of the night, glowing in the light of the sun, its primary form. You would be mistaken, dear listener and viewer, to associate my words with feelings of the macabre. The ghostly moon does not represent fear or disgust at death. It represents the passage of the mind through the darkness of the abyss, the infinity of uncertainties, the shapeless things, the longing for what remains undiscovered. The lakes of light the moon casts upon the world evoke a fantastical and fairy-like universe in those who possess a vivid and passionate imagination. They create a space that lies between the beyond and the here, where the marvelous has a kinship with the almost unreal apparition of the moon. The blurring of the rigid boundaries inherent to the night aligns itself with the freedom of imagination and creation, maintaining a familiar connection between the moon, sleep, dreams, and death. Quote, "This celestial orb, like the soul and destiny of humanity, is both light and dark, of both the spirit and the flesh. Bound to the orbit of this earth, and, like the serpent, ever circling from the light of the empyrean to the dark of the abyss." One summer, in my mother's village where the darkness of night is absolute, I slowly watched the moon rise from behind a hill, and with it, in the distance, I felt the presence of the sea. How could one not be but utterly captivated and immersed in ecstasy by the unfathomable mystery of its watery glow? Between the sun and the moon, it is the latter that shows us its face, and yet it is not enough, for its visage remains untranslated. It emerges in the misty sky and reminds us that we also walk through shadows, lost, uncertain, and cautious, seeking meaning and purpose, a path and an answer. Her immutable and inexorable silence is the serene eloquence of death and perpetual sleep. We are the moon, already dressed in our shroud, with a pall woven by our experiences, the trousseau woven throughout a lifetime. Like the moon, the certainty of tomorrow's death surrounds us, yet we should only feel the curiosity of those who walk among the stars. The fear of the end is futile. Quote, "Let us enter death with open eyes." And to you, dear listener, what does the moon mean to you? Do you have any particular myth that you like about the moon? Any mythology? Let us know in the comment section, and while you're at it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your time.